So let's talk about the decision your team and your organization and you had atop the NFL draft. Travon Walker's there, and so is Aidan Hutchinson from Michigan. My unprofessional way to ask the question when you chose Walker over Hutchinson is, what's your malfunction? The professional way is to say, what made you choose Travon Walker, Doug Pederson? Sorry to go unprofessional. I mean,
you went all over the place with that question. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of whatever going on there.
Well, it's just a Wolverine in me, man. But
let's just cut to the chase. Right? Here's the thing. And there are two really good players there in both Travon and Aidan at the top of our draft board. And let me just go back a little bit.
Sure.
Obviously Cam Robinson, our left tackle, we were able to get his contract done, prior to the draft and keep him here. I think sky's the limit with him. So solidifying our offensive line that way really kind of helped too in some of the decisions we made in the draft. And then we look at these two players and both are high character guys. Both would be great in our room, in our locker room, good leaders. And for us it was just the potential, the upside, the things that we saw. And as you know, Rich, I mean, as coaches, we're privy to a lot of film and a lot of conversations that a lot of people don't get, right? And a lot of information. And part of our job is to gain that information. And we just felt at the time that, and even sitting here today, that the best for our organization was Travon Walker, and that's nothing against Aidan. I mean, because I think he's a great player and he's going to have a great career in this league. But for us, we got to make a decision, and we made it. And love everything about Travon. We get him in here this weekend for our rookie mini camp, and we're excited to go to work with him. And really, when you look at his body of work at Georgia, he from day one, the day he got there, they moved him all up and down that defensive front, and it's a very versatile player. And there's a lot of unique things that he can do along the defensive front. And for us, we feel like he's going to be a good outside edge rusher, with Josh Allen and KC, Caleb on Chase on, and these guys that we have, and Jordan Smith, and he just adds to that room. And it was a position that we addressed in the draft, and we're happy and we're excited and can't wait to get him in here.
He's a terrific player. I'm just having fun, but he's a terrific player. At the combine, he was superb, and I don't think you got to see what he can do at Georgia, which is amazing to say such a thing out loud, but because of who else was there right around, and that we saw in the draft how many players got drafted from that team and that side of the ball. And then on top of it, you take a look at the offseason acquisitions your team and you guys made before the draft. I mean, Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram and Brandon Sheriff on the offensive side, and then a bold-faced name player on each level of the defense free agency. What can you tell your fans to expect? I mean, your first year head coach with this team, but you have won a Super Bowl. You got a ring on your resume. You've got a vast history as a player in this game at the position that the most important prospect on your team plays. What can you tell fans of Duval what to expect this year, Coach?
Well, I think what you can expect, you got to look at the first thing you got to do is you got to look at our division in the AFC South, and you have to address the portion of the game that kind of stares you in the face, and this is a power run game, with the big runner in Tennessee and Indy, and you have to stop the run, and you have to be built to stop the run, and then be able to rush the passer. I mean, you got to have guys that can do that on defense, and so we addressed the offensive issues and needs, obviously in free agency, and went out and got shored up the offensive line, got some help for Trevor at the skill positions, and then we went and we kind of secured the middle of our defense with Fodikasi and Olakun, two guys that are veteran players that have had really good careers, young players that give you great depth at the D tackle spot and the linebacker spot, and then we addressed the edge rusher in the draft, and so now you can build your football team to stop the run and then put pressure on the passer. And that's kind of the focus that we took and the strategy that we took here in building this team for this year. And it's going to be exciting once we get into camp. There's going to be some great battles, obviously, at these positions, and looking forward to that when we finally get the pads on. But I think that's what we have to take a look at and build your team that way. And in the past, there's been some really good players here. There just hasn't been a lot of the depth, on your roster. And now we're creating the depth that you can go into a season with, and sort of plug and play guys and be excitable. Obviously, you got to have the ability to throw the football in the NFL, and that's why we did what we did with the guys around Trevor.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.